Almost half of all millennial millionaires have at least 25% of their wealth in crypto. I happen to meet a lot of them living here in Puerto Rico. And as usual, I've got some great crypto projects for you today that I and some of my friends have evaluated and we think are promising. And as usual, if you stay till the end, I'll be sharing a special update on a project that I think is hugely valuable. And just so you understand, the reason I make these crypto roundup videos is I really want to help you guys understand and evaluate what a good crypto project looks like. Most of the coins out there are junk and will go to zero. They depend entirely on hype to gain market momentum and have no real use case. That's why every couple of weeks, I try and introduce you to what I consider some of the most reputable projects in development. And honestly, I can't say these coins are going to the moon. A lot of their value depends heavily on the movement of the general market itself. But these are the types of projects that I personally would be buying in a crypto winter because they have the potential to make massive gains during a following bull run. Most of the projects I mentioned are new, so the majority of them still haven't had their initial token generated. But I have to warn you, when a new token first hits the market, there are often bots that buy up those coins for the first several minutes. So if the initial coin offering is, say, 5 cents, you might see a massive spike showing it selling at 50 cents. And this is usually not the time to buy. I generally wait a few hours to a couple days to make my entry into a token right after launch. To know a good entry point on a coin, you need to know the tokenomics on it, especially if it's a new coin. If a coin is new, then you can't do technical analysis off of historical charts. So you need to see how much early investors paid for their coins and also their distribution schedule. As an example, if a seed investor pays 1 cent for a coin and the public sale price is 10 cents and the investor gets 10% of their allocation on launch, they will often try and sell that initial allocation to recoup 100% of their initial investment. This would obviously cause the price of the coin to drop significantly if there was a lot of seed investors doing this. So this is why it's important to read and understand the tokenomics of these new coins coming to market. Some dumping is often expected on new coin releases, even with good projects. So it's more about learning how to navigate a new coin release when a project is good. Now, this doesn't always happen. If it's a good project and the investors think the coin will likely go up to $1, then many of them will often hold that initial allocation. So all that being said, let's move into the projects for today. The first project I want to cover is Spores Network. They recently had their IDO and are performing incredibly well. For those of you who bought in on this project, I have to imagine you're quite happy right now. What Spores is doing is creating a cross-chain compatible NFT marketplace. If you aren't already familiar with NFTs, they are essentially individual digital assets. But one of the problems is many people build different NFTs on different blockchains. Well, Spores is looking to solve this problem. And one of the biggest advantages to this is it will create added liquidity to your NFTs, meaning more people will have access to buy and sell in their marketplace. This is pretty significant for a lot of collectibles because it means there's a lot of new potential buyers, which may result in being able to demand a higher price for your digital assets. NFTs really can be all-encompassing in the digital space, but you can see Spores is really focusing on a few industries. Some of these include digital art, electronic sports, animation, music, film, and gaming. This really makes a lot of sense because this is really how NFT use has really played out in its infancy, and all of these industries have mass appeal. One of the other big things they're bringing is accepting payments through both crypto and fiat. I'll tell you why this is important. It's going to take a while for the general population to adopt crypto as a currency, but the general population is ready for digital collectibles. This is something that most people already understand. So to really carve out a name for yourself in the current NFT space, you really need to accept fiat payments. And they really do have an excellent team putting this together. My friend knows the CEO and some of the team members, and they are just brilliant. And something to mention, just in general, NFTs were really hot late last year, but I can promise you they are not going away. Besides the fact that yes, you will continue to see waves of hype, but you're also going to start seeing NFTs become a more integrated part of our society. And even if you know essentially nothing about crypto, you've probably still heard about NFTs And that's because they are a big deal in how they will transform how we live and conduct business. Okay, let's move on to the next project I want to cover. This project is called Meld, and they are really doing something that I think is massively important in finance. They are working to build some important banking solutions within the crypto space. That means that they aren't just working to build out lending from crypto to crypto, but also crypto to fiat. What's awesome is Meld will actually allow you to borrow against your crypto assets, receiving fiat. And let me tell you why this is significant. A lot of people have seen their crypto assets grow in value significantly and don't want to liquidate their crypto when they have the expectation that it will continue to grow in value. Beyond that, those with crypto want to avoid creating a taxable event. So when you give Meld the crypto as collateral, they put that capital to work and use the profits they make from it to pay off the principal of your loan. Then you only need to pay off the interest of the loan, and interest is generally tax deductible in most countries. I'll tell you, this is often how extremely wealthy people who own appreciating assets are able to avoid a lot of unnecessary taxes. And now some of these same financial tools will be available to even small holders of crypto. This really excites me because my channel here at Income Series is all about teaching people how to manage personal finances, build business, and use credit intelligently. And Meld is really creating some exciting opportunities for you guys beyond what you would normally have access to. Also, Meld has a great team behind the project. Some of my friends have spoken with them directly, and they've done some public interviews. Jay Murph from the YouTube channel Crypto Rain did an interview with their chairman, Ken Oling, where he goes in depth about what they are doing in the project. Okay, another project I'm really interested in that recently had a successful IDO is OMNI. What OMNI is doing is they are creating a very unique social media app that combines the best aspects of the most popular platforms out there. This includes taking videos with several professional editing features, some of which are augmented reality face effects, filters, slow motion, and also audio mixing. You'll also be able to dub songs and other popular sound bites. And then, of course, you'll be able to share these with friends and follow your favorite influencers. The OMNI app is also going to allow for chat and video calling. One of the best things about the app that I think will start to be an essential part of social media apps really being successful in the future is the ability to earn tokens, essentially make money with the app. Now, I'll be honest, the social media space is brutally competitive. So you're probably wondering, Brian, what makes you think this project has the potential to hold its own in the market? And my answer is it really comes down to the team behind it and who's backing it. You can see they have a very impressive list of strategic partners and investors. You don't get that unless you have a rock star team behind a project. If you want to read about the team, the heads of the company are listed in their white paper. With their recent IDO, their token did perform quite well, especially for crypto being in a sideways market the last couple months. I've purchased some of the OMNI tokens myself and will be holding my tokens for a while. Now, if you want to buy into this one, just be careful you're buying the correct OMNI tokens. There's a few projects out there that look similar, so it's best to get their coin contract from the bottom of their website. Okay, I think you'll like this next project I have for you. It's called PolkaPlay, and it will be one of the first platforms that allow users to easily create their own NFTs. They really are focusing on making it as easy as possible for you to turn your own pictures and videos into NFTs that you can choose to monetize. It's going to be a really cool place for both artists and normal people to curate and market their favorite art. I do think that there will be a real demand for this because the influencer industry will want a way to easily turn their existing work into NFTs that can be sold. PolkaPlay also has a ton of great backers and investors, which only comes when experienced people in the space have confidence in the team. These guys will go live with public trading on August 3rd. Now, right now, it seems like the NFT space is starting to warm up a bit, so I do think there is some potential for them to do well at launch. It is a BSC token, so you'll be able to trade it at PancakeSwap. I know I have a lot of projects for you guys today, but there's a lot going on in the crypto space right now, and it's honestly tough to even keep up. Go ahead and smash that like button. These crypto roundup videos actually take more work than a lot of my other videos. Hitting that like button is free, just like this video is free. Okay, let's talk about another interesting project that is in development, and that's Solminter. They are essentially providing blockchain as a service on Solana. Essentially, they will be a layer 0 solution. Their intent is to make it easy for new projects and developers to get started on the Solana blockchain. And you can see they are building it to make it especially easy for projects built on Ethereum to bridge over to Solana. We all know that there are some big issues with Ethereum and their fees, and Solana is really an attractive option for those projects that want to switch blockchains. One of the big aspects of their project is they are working to make it as codeless as possible, essentially giving people some template solutions for large parts of their projects. If Solana starts to attract a lot of new and old projects, there's some real potential for Solminter to be a central part of that migration. I do like this team, and I can really appreciate the value of what they are bringing to the blockchain. Okay, there's another project that just recently had its IDO and started trading its token publicly, and that's CoinBurp. This is a project a friend introduced me to, and I'll be honest, I was a little taken back by its branding, but it's what they are actually doing that is very impressive. So CoinBurp is a peer-to-peer crypto brokerage that is well known in the UK market. They are registered with the FCA in the UK, which is really an important step for financial companies that work in the crypto space. More and more countries will be making an effort to crack down on decentralized financial companies that aren't following their regulations. So CoinBurp has been very forward-thinking in that respect. They offer insured crypto custody for those who use their platform. And they also provide the purchase and selling between fiat and crypto, bridging both centralized finance and decentralized finance. I do think that's a good space to be in, and we need to be honest with ourselves. Most people are not ready to have all of their assets fully decentralized. So I really like the direction they are pursuing with offering a centralized exchange and then integrating their own decentralized financial solutions so the transition between the two is seamless. Okay, let's do a quick recap of one of my favorite projects that I mentioned to you guys a few weeks ago, and that's Envoy. If you remember, they are creating a new NFT marketplace, but what I didn't mention were some of the big names in the industry they're working with, and some of them include Spotify, Tomorrowland, and Live Nation. Yeah, you heard me right. This is huge news. Even if Envoy was just working with Spotify, that would be enough. I mean, just consider the instant access to the music market share Envoy will have just by working with Spotify. So this is really your reward for staying this long in the video. I honestly consider this information gold. Remember to smash that like button. Just as I promised, I gave you a gold nugget of information at the end of the video. Hitting that like button is free, just like this video is free. If you haven't yet, become an OG and subscribe. My other crypto videos are still relevant, so I definitely recommend checking out each of the different projects I mentioned in them as well. Remember, all this is just my own opinion. Everyone needs to do their own research. This video is just to let you know what projects I've taken a personal interest in.